Firstly, thank everybody for coming. For those of you who we haven't met, I'm Colin Beattie. I'm the chairman of the South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum at the moment, and it's my great pleasure to be able to announce the official unveiling of the plaque recognising the grant that we received from REN, which is the Waste Renewable Recycling Thank you, Ian. Recycling and Environmental. This is the second time we've had a major grant from REN, and it's to provide the new roof for the building. The first one was for the building 19 with the dark black ugly tin roof, and the conditions inside were so amazingly changed because there's insulation and everything like that, and it looks very nice as well, and very much in keeping with the contemporary we then were able to apply for a second grant the following year, and REN have come up trumps, and they have provided the money for the re-roofing of this whole building. The museum's contribution is all the labour to do with other works, because obviously our volunteers aren't going to be clambering over fixing the roof on. So we've been recladding the walls, the new buildings and all that sort of thing. So the museum is very much appreciating REN's support on this, and over this coming winter and the following summers and that, the conditions in this building will be so much more stable that it will benefit the artefacts, the visitors, and of course eventually the volunteers who won't have to freeze every time it comes. But it will be so much better. So I would like to call on Mayor David to just unveil the little plaque which will be there for all to see and understand. We will put some further explanatory about what it's for, but at the moment there's the plaque to there, so if you would, if I could ask you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Really appreciate being here today with you all. At this time, just after the Somme celebrations, 100 years, the Battle of Britain as well. So it gives me great pleasure to unveil this plaque.
Well, once again, what I would like to do with this one, this is the opening of the Riding High exhibition, which is the name given to our World War I commemorative exhibition, and I would like to call on Jude from Doncaster Museums to actually tell us what it's all about and how we came to get it with the cooperation of the Heritage Lottery Fund. That's right.
Great. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks, Alan.
Jude.
Hi everyone, I'm Jude Holland. I'm the project manager of Doncaster 1914 to 18, which is a project funded by the Heritage Lottery Fund and run by Doncaster Heritage Services to commemorate the centenary of the First World War. It's a community heritage project, so until 2019 we'll be working with different community groups and volunteers to mark the centenary in lots of different ways. And this exhibition has been a partnership between the South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum and Doncaster 1914 to 18. And it's been the result of many, many hours, I think definitely over 100 hours, Alan was telling me the other day, and probably into the several hundreds of hours.
That was just last week.
That was just last week, yeah. So we started work in earnest on the exhibition around about a year ago, and since then Ian Kingsnorth, who's here today, and Mike Jackson have spent hours and hours painstakingly researching content for the exhibition about the Zeppelin raid on Sheffield 100 years ago next week, and the role of the South Yorkshire airfields in the defence against that threat. They've sweated blood and tears for this exhibition. They've written really fantastic texts and done some amazing research, which I hope you'll agree really comes to light in this exhibition. They've been bearing with me through lots of kind of copyright training and all those kind of really annoying things that it takes to put together an exhibition. But I've really enjoyed working with them, and just like to say as well, thanks to all of the trustees and volunteers at the South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum, for Bill and Alan and Naylan, who's the curator, and and Phil for just putting in many hours of work into this exhibition as well. And Lindsay, our project researcher from Doncaster 1914 to 18, just like to say thanks to as well, who's also helped to support in that research and all of that image sourcing for the exhibition and put in a lot of work on it as well. Also many thanks to Professor Phil Green and his wife Trudy Pankhurst, who filled, I'm not sure if they're here today.
Not yet, they'll be coming later.
But they've lent us, lent the South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum a fantastic selection of objects telling the story of Phil Green's grandfather, Hugh Carson, who was from Bolby in Doncaster and who served in the Royal Flying Corps during the First World War. And they spent lots of time with us telling us those personal stories which Ian then brought out in the exhibition. So I think lastly a thanks to our funders, the Heritage Lottery Fund, who sadly couldn't be here today, but without them this exhibition wouldn't have been possible. So I'll hand over to Alan again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
So again, thank you from the South Yorkshire Aircraft Museum for all your assistance, and reiterate everything you've said about Ian and Mike and Bill and everybody else who's put so much into this, and especially all the volunteers who've been on call so rapidly. I'd like to hand over please to Vice Marshal Alan Johnson and ask him to formally open the Riding High exhibition. Bill, I know you don't carry your own scissors.
Are they sterile?
Well, I say we could have got your scalpel from the bottle cabinet. I'd like to thank you, Alan.
Well, I have very little to say because it's all been said. But again, my thanks to Jude and to Ren, to everybody that's contributed, those who haven't been mentioned by name, because the place looks magnificent. I don't, unfortunately, come here very often, but the transformation, and particularly this, I've had the privilege of having a look round, and it is wonderful. And particularly, you mentioned the Zeppelin raid, which is 100 years ago next week. Zeppelins I have a slight interest in that my specialty was aerospace medicine, the support of aircrew. First of all, the selection. Back in those days, there were heroic young men in the Royal Flying Corps. The selection was rather bizarre. One of the tests to test their ability to withstand shock and stress was to sit them in a chair, tell them to face straight ahead, and somebody would sneak up behind and fire a pistol. If they jumped a lot, they were rejected. If they didn't jump so much, they were accepted, which probably accounts for the fact that a lot of deaf pilots. And the other one, the Zeppelin. The Germans were way ahead of us. Our poor BE-2Cs couldn't outclimb the Zeppelin. And it flew at heights of 18, 20, 22,000 feet, where you need oxygen. What did the Germans provide? Liquid oxygen. We didn't provide it in our aircraft till the 1970s. So they beat us to, mind you, it's terribly dangerous. And the other thing was, and I'm trying to look to find one because I'd love to see it here. I went to Drägerwerke, which is the German oxygen system company, and looking at their historical museum. And they had examples of the first oxygen masks that they produced for their pilots. And they were very soft leather. And I said, what's this made of? And they said, it's the leather from dogs' noses. Because it's soft and it fits all the contours of the face. So I'm sure there are an awful lot of missing Dachshunds in Germany. Enough of those reminiscences. I'm sure you want to have a look round. I've enjoyed it. I'm sure many people will enjoy it. It does me give great pleasure to cut the ribbon